Alrighty. Hello and welcome in everybody to the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode number 104. Tonight we're going to have a full NASCAR 2025 season preview. We're also going to go over some news tonight. And then I also kind of want to recap a little bit of the Tulsa shootout stuff that happened this weekend. There was some interesting races. We'll talk about the winners, maybe some of the things or takeaways that I brought out of that or we brought out of that. And then also a early look at the 2025 Chili Bowl entry list, some of the prelim night, some of the key contenders in each of the prelim nights. We'll get to that here at the end of the podcast. But first off, I'm here with Tom. Tom, how are you doing here tonight, man?
Oh man, I'm great. Ready to talk about some season previews for old Big Daddy NASCAR.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. I am a little excited. There's a few things I'm excited to talk about. But first off, I'm going to let Tom kind of take control of the news here. He's been doing a hell of a job, by the way, on the Discord. I feel like we need to shout him out here tonight. He's been keeping up with the news so much over the last 4 or 5 months, and he's really been kicking butt doing that, keeping everything up to date on the Discord. So I'm going to let Tom kind of run the news here to start off this podcast. We'll go through some of this stuff and give some of our opinions.
Yeah, all right. So, first one, big news, right? We've got Helio Castroneves making a start in the Daytona 500. Posted that in Discord. Jay brought up a point. That's been rumored for years. Absolutely, it has been. But now, it's finally happening. Project 91 coming back out of the garage and putting that 91 back out on the track. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited for Helio. In fact, I did a little bit more digging on it. He ran a couple IROC races at Talladega and Daytona. So I feel like that's pretty cool. He's got a little bit of stock car experience. I think, though, that NASCAR is going to give him some extra time. From what I read throughout the practices, just going to give him a little bit more time to get himself situated with the car and ready for what would be the duels?
Yes.
Or qualifying, then the duels?
I think he's also
Or
getting some test laps at Talladega in the next gen car as well.
yeah, yeah, that's right. I read that too. That's happening before. That's actually happening this month.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Elio is even going to get some track time now, this month coming up soon. So, that's really cool. I'm really excited about that entry. It seems to be that Trackhouse has some pretty good super speedway cars. So, I'm excited about that. That'll be really cool. Another Daytona 500 entrant, kind of a big deal. Mike Wallace coming back from the grave. It seems like that dude's probably 832 years old, but he's coming back to do another Daytona 500 run in the 66 MBM. So another name to look out for come Daytona 500 time. But Mike Wallace will be racing or trying to get into the 500. So.
Yeah, that came out of total left field. I mean, this Daytona 500 entry list is filling up, man. I don't know. There's still a bunch of other rumored rides that haven't been confirmed yet either. I mean, we might be over 45, 46 cars entered for this 500 this year.
Yeah, I think right now we're tied for the most entries in the Daytona 500 in the past 10 years. So we could be seeing the biggest entry list from the past 10 years.
Which is huge. I mean, this is part of the what I would consider the American Triple Crown. It's one of the three legs.
Yeah.
And it's really not had the turnout the last few years. And I think a lot of it had to do with the charter era coming in, really kind of put it in a detriment. We used to see 60, 70 cars show up to Daytona 500.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the mid to early 2010s. I mean, and now we're getting down to where we had last year we had 42 show up, so they sent 2 home. It's like, I don't know. Me and Tom, I don't know, man. We've always lived on this philosophy that whoever shows up for the Daytona 500 gets to race in the 500. If we have
let
70
them race.
cars show up, let them all race.
Let them race.
100%.
Yeah. We're talking about some of the biggest facilities in America, too. I mean, they could absolutely make pit stalls for these guys. They do it for IMSA. Yeah. They can do it for NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. I'm excited for this year's 500, honestly. We'll get into that with our NASCAR preview, but the way it's lining out, man, this might be one of the best 500s in a long time. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So Justin Bonsignor now announces a 5-race deal with JGR in the Xfinity Series for 2025, which is pretty. Actually, I think it's a pretty big deal. He's getting some good equipment. He's got lots of race experience, backing up or under his belt, and he's really fast. And he's going to be. I mean, he's in a JGR car. It's going to be a really fast car. I think he has the opportunity to win some races this year. And it's even with the team that he's got wrapped around him, that's going to be huge for him to get his name out there. He's got to win some races for sure. And then who's a driver that came in one time, won a race? Well, Zilich.
Yeah.
But Zilich is Zilich. But
yeah,
Bonsignor could do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't see exactly what 5 races there were, but if he's got like a Martinsville or
IRP is one of them.
RIP is a good track for him. If he runs New Hampshire, would be a great track for him if he does that.
Lime Rock. He got the Lime Rock.
Wow, Lime Rock.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of another driver.
You're thinking of Brent Cruz, I think.
Brent Cruz. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I think he's gonna do good, man. I've been impressed with him a lot in these with the modified tour races. He's definitely the favorite every time they race. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good step in the right direction. We also have Kyle Hendricks in the chat here tonight. He says Skyline is trash chili. Imagine if it actually took talent to race a next gen car at Daytona or Talladega. He says Wallace needs to be sponsored by Geico for this event. I'm down for that. And then JGR announced their new Chase Elliott boring inspired logo this week. JGR?
Oh, I did see that.
I did not see that.
Yeah, they changed their logo. It's like any typical corporate logo now. It's just JGR, just in bold letters. I mean, it's seriously
pretty bland.
It's bland. Yeah.
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 I guess maybe they'll sell more T-shirts. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks for jumping in here.
They'll be able
with us there, Kyle. We love it. Great comments all the time. All right, Tom. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you jump into the next one.
Big news. Our boy Parker Kligerman has signed a 10-race deal with Henderson Trucks at 25. Wow. I was not expecting that either. Look, we're getting left fielders out here left and right this week. What awesome news that is right there. Parker Kligerman can drive Fred Flintstone's car into a race weekend and still pull a top 10 out of it. So this is going to be really cool. We've seen some struggles out of those Henderson trucks the past couple of years. What an opportunity for them, though, as well. A great opportunity for them. And really, they're bringing in a guy who's already raced their trucks, too. So he's got the experience. He's got the camaraderie with everybody in that team already. That's just a package for success right there.
Yeah, I'd say he's a threat to win just about any race he enters. I mean,
Yeah.
Truck Series this year, we'll talk about it with our preview, but I think the Truck Series is down this year compared to the last couple of years. And that's saying something compared to last year. I think that this year the Truck Series is going to be wide open for anybody to really kind of take this championship. And Parker Kligerman making 10 starts, I could see him winning 2-3 of those. Not with these. I mean, he's really talented. That team has taken strides forward. The sponsorship money's there. I think this is a great move all the way around for Henderson. Parker Kligerman keeping him so relevant in NASCAR. I love this. I love this. All hail King Parker, says Kyle.
All right, now we get into the Tricon number 1 truck. I was talking about, Bonsignor. What was going through my head was actually Brent Cruz, which is one of the drivers that's going to be driving for Tricon in the number 1 truck, along with Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones got the bulk of the deal. He got the most races out of it. So Wallace you'll see there, and Lawless Allen you'll see there as well in 2025. Lawless Allen actually running a full-time ARCA campaign this year. He's going to be going back and forth between ARCA and trucks. So you'll see a lot of Lawless Allen out on the racetrack this year. So Wallace is in Xfinity this year. He'll be stepping down to run a couple truck races, and so is Brandon Jones. So really a stacked lineup there, if you ask me. I think Brent Cruz is a phenomenal driver. You can look
16,
up any of the.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean,
let's put that in perspective.
We'll see what he can do in these trucks. But potential Zillage caliber here with Brent Cruz, yes. I think so. He's had some phenomenal ARCA showings. He's had some amazing.
He's won Trans Am races.
Trans Am, yep, and dirt. He's
running
huge
in the
dirt as well.
Yep, the Outlaws. Yep.
Overall, a very good driver. And then we got Mr. Moneyman Brandon Jones. He's just Brandon Jones. We got Sawalich coming back. We know Sawalich has some speed. He's going to be probably trying to get just some repetition in for his Xfinity ride. And then Lawless. Honestly, I don't know how he pulled that off, to be honest with you. I mean,
he
obviously,
showed flashes
money
at
talks.
the end of last year. He showed some flashes to me. There was a couple runs. One of the Kansas races at the end of the year, he had a decent run there. Talladega.
Wasn't that his 3rd year though?
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely had a lot of experience, but he did show some flashes with underfunded teams last year that gives me a little bit of optimism. But I feel like if he can't perform this year, like you said, Venerini full time in their premier car, and then on top of some Truck Series starts with Tricon. I mean, if he can't perform this year, I mean, it's a wash for Lawless Allen, in my opinion. I would definitely write him off. So this is a big year for him.
Yeah, and also leading into that, the next bit of news, Lawless going full-time in the number 20 Venturini ARCA car. Like what you said, he, honestly, let's be honest here, he needs to win the championship. He needs to show that he is a force to be reckoned with, to even probably get a shot back into the Truck Series.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, he'll probably go to AM Racing in Xfinity and die out there or something. I don't know. This is crunch time for Lawless, I feel like, and he really needs to show what he can do in the ARCA series. He's got the best car. He's got the best team. The best seat in the house. He's got to win that championship.
Yeah, if he's not I mean, I would say championship is expectation, but I mean, even if he finishes, let's say 2nd or 3rd in championship, but he wins 40% of the races, I still think that's a success. He's just got to be able to prove that he can.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if he dominates we've seen it. I mean, Larson did it this year.
Yeah,
dominated the whole season. Still didn't win the championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's completely different circumstances than what we have in ARCA points wise. but still the case is that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. I think the biggest point here, though, is that Lawless Allen needs to make a name for himself this year.
Yes.
And if he
100%.
doesn't do it, I mean, it's going to be hard to bounce back from that.
Yeah, I'm excited about Brett Cruz. I mean, I just want to mention that one more time.
Yeah.
I am super excited for Brett Cruz. We'll talk about it later with the Tulsa Shootout this weekend, but man, did he have a good showing there. I mean, I'm excited. I think the comparison to Zilich is perfect. I think Brett Cruz is that Zilich-esque driver. The one difference between the two is Zilich did a lot more sports car stuff, and Cruz did a lot more dirt stuff. Besides that, they both are pretty damn versatile on anything they drive. So I think that Brett Cruz is going to turn some heads this year.
For sure. All right. Catherine Legg announces she's going to be running the ARCA 200 at Daytona. So I'm pretty sure that's a Venturini ride as well. She's going to have some pretty good equipment there. It's good to see Catherine getting a good ride, first off. And second off, being a front for women in Daytona. So that's pretty cool.
And she's
hopefully she can get a good finish out of it.
Very underrated oval driver. Yes, Daytona is its own animal. It's different. It's not like racing an oval in IndyCar, but she's really underrated oval racer, and I think she's going to do extremely well in this ride. Will she win? Probably not. Will she be competing up at the front of the field? I would say so. I would say she's probably going to be top 10 most of the race. I mean, ARCA's diverse, man. Like, you've got about 6 to 8 cars that are competitive, and then you have the rest of the field. And she's going to be in one of those 6 to 8 cars, so I think she's going to do fine.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have another one of those big Willie moments. That'd be pretty cool.
That'll spin the field down a little bit there.
All right. Oh, man. All right. Moving on, we've got the typical announcement for January every year. Marco Andretti to run the Indy 500 this year. Probably with Andretti Autosport or what's that? Herta
Andretti Auto, or Herta Andretti Autosport.
Herta Curbaginian, whatever that is. Yeah.
Whatever
so that's typical news there. I'm sure we'll announce it next year as well in January 2026. But Marco Andretti is running in 2025 the Indy 500.
Yeah, it's his 20th attempt at the Indy 500 too, which I thought was pretty special. So maybe they'll do a little I don't know, maybe some type of
gold paint scheme.
Yeah, some type of special thing. Maybe do driver
25
intros with
tries,
Mario
0
and
wins.
Going out there with him. I think that'd be fun. He is an SRX champion, though. Can't forget that. Yeah. He won a championship in a series that no longer exists.
Also, Haley Deegan almost won a race.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost.
Many times. I mean, it depends on who you ask. She almost won every race.
All right, a little bit of drama here. When talking about ECR in IndyCar, we kind of got that surprise announcement with Alexander Rossi getting a seat there with Christian Rasmussen, pushing out Rinus VeeKay, which, if I remember correctly, I kind of compared this event to Daniel Ricciardo getting kicked out of McLaren. Ricciardo got their first win in a ungodly amount of time, and then he gets pushed out. That's what happened to VeeKay. VeeKay got ECR's first win in I think it was like 10 years or something like that, and now he's kicked to the curb. I feel like probably VeeKay was done a little dirty. Unfortunately, money's going to run the game. Christian Rasmussen probably brought a little bit more money than him. And Alexander Rossi, why wouldn't you want Alexander Rossi? But VeeKay made some comments about it. He said he feels like he was thrown out like trash after the ECR exit. That is on the news article. That is what he said. And honestly, I feel for him. I kind of agree with him, actually.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the Daniel Ricciardo comparison is spot on here. It's unfortunate, and the way IndyCar's going, Carter's looming. I mean, that's inevitable. Lack of seats are going to become available. It's going to turn into NASCAR. What it kind of reminds me is, I mean, if you think about it, kind of a little bit like Greg Biffle. I mean, with the whole charter thing that happened in NASCAR, where he kind of got left on the wrong side of the good, and he kind of got shuffled out eventually. never could really make another return back to NASCAR. I hope that doesn't happen to VK. He's shown a lot of speed. He's a really good oval driver. That's
He's
definitely a
good, man.
strength.
Look, he won Indy GP with an ECR car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying, you know,
and he had to beat
won
Monaco to do
Monaco.
it. That was a great race. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying you won Monaco in an Alpine.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
He did it. But he did it based off of just pure driver talent. You give him the car, he's going to win races.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he really is. You put him in an Andretti car, he'll go toe-to-toe with Colton Herta every weekend.
Yeah.
Put my name on that, stamp it on a piece of paper, lick it, and send it.
If I was Rahal, though, if I was RL, I'd be looking at this guy. I mean, this seems like a franchise stone driver that, I mean, they didn't get Rossi to work out. They didn't bring him in. VK would be the perfect guy to cornerstone, especially with Graham getting towards the end of his career. I mean, you insert him in the 15 car.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That could be a deadly team.
Shit, I might go back racing. All right. Cool little news here. A Denver and Mexico City option for the IndyCar schedule in 2026, which is really good. I mean, we already know Mexico is going to be a great option for IndyCar. You got Pato O'Ward, rising superstar in IndyCar, but also Denver. What an untapped market right there. They used to race in Denver at the Oval there, the Denver Motorsports Complex or something like that. I forget what it's called.
Pikes Peak.
Well, no, it's the Oval there.
Yeah, Pikes Peak has an oval on the same
is it
property? Yeah.
Is it called Pikes Peak?
I don't know if they call the oval track Pikes Peak or.
I'm pretty sure it was called like.
It could be like Colorado National or something. Or that's the
like something like that. I don't know.
I know it's all on the same property. Yeah.
They raced there before, and it's been a success. That whole Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, that area right there is so untapped for racing markets. Like, they need to go there. You'll get a huge turnout, man, and especially like in the Denver area. Look, people can go watch the race, and then they can go vacation for the week after. You know, it's perfect tourist attraction around there as well. I mean, I think that's a untapped market. And then you got Mexico City. You need to go there. You just need to go there. And you know, we already go to Toronto. We go to Canada. Just start expanding a little bit. Go to Mexico. I know everybody's talking about Australia and Surfers
Brazil.
Paradise. And Brazil and those are great. I've heard horror stories from Brazil from when they last raced there. So you know, I'm sure the organization knows about those horror stories as well, because with some people I talked to, they were working on Team Penske when they were telling me these horror stories. So I'm sure they know about that kind of stuff. But regardless, huge untapped markets, need to go A+ if they can get it done.
Yes, I agree. And with Detroit or with Denver as well, they had that Champ Car race around the Denver Broncos Stadium back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And those were some of my favorite races to watch. I love watching. I go back every once in a while on YouTube and watch them back because they were so much fun. Yeah. And also that poll that survey group or whatever put together, the most popular motorsports by state. Colorado was one of the 4 states that, well, I guess Indiana, there was 5. Rhode Island, Washington, Idaho, Indianapolis, Colorado. Those were the 5 states that IndyCar was the most popular sport in that state. So maybe a potential for a Seattle street course, being very popular in
Boise?
In Boise street course, Denver street course. I mean, 3 of your 5 states that are the most popular are right there within that same little thing. You could do your own West Coast swing.
Make it happen.
Yep.
Make it happen. Huge for IndyCar if they can. All right, moving on. We got some more news here. Austin Cindric to fill in for Ben Barker at the Rolex 24 with Ford Multimatic. Ben Barker got a little bit of an injury there skiing. Sounds like our good friend there, old Chase Elliott. Old
giving
buddy,
him lessons.
old buddy boy, giving him lessons there. And now Cindric to now fill in for him in the GTD Pro car for the Rolex 24. Hopefully that car can stay together for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to, right? We don't know what the
Yeah.
engineering changes they made to the Ford Multimatic yet. We really haven't seen any concepts, or we really don't even know a lot of the BOPs. I've been looking around the last few days, and I don't really even see any of the BOPs
Yeah,
going into 2025. So who knows?
that's
Maybe
what I was
Ford
looking for.
Ford can kick ass this year, man, because they didn't really have any strict BOPs last year. It was really they beat themselves with the car construction. So they really turned it up towards the end of the year. They showed a lot of promise in the last few rounds in Indianapolis specifically, and then also at Petit Le Mans, kind of bounced back and had a good run. Watch out, Ford might be a contender.
Yeah, that's another thing that'll be a huge news segment. Will be the BOPs heading into the 24. It hasn't been like what you said.
Haven't
I
seen
haven't
anything.
seen anything,
Yeah.
and so again, I mean, it's going to be pretty big when that comes out. So we'll see in time. But yeah, that'll be a huge talking point in the coming weeks. So, all right, last bit of news here: Dean Thompson full time with Sam Hunt in 25.
I'm just gonna say this the same as I said about Lawless Allen. This is do or die year. Sam Hunt Racing's not a top notch competitive team, like he was with Tricon and the trucks. But if he can't replicate what Corey Heim did most weeks, or at least get close to what Corey Heim did, I just think this is it, man. This is his last hurrah.
It's exactly everything I said about Lawless Allen. Same thing. I don't think I really need to explain further.
No, I'm with you 100% there. This is a do or die for Dean Thompson. Got a lot of family money,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna go further in these motorsports, you got to start putting results together, and we'll see how it works out with Sam Hunt Racing this year.
Yep.
All right, Tom, you kick butt on this news, man. There's some great stuff to talk about, and like Tom said with the BOPs with IMSA, if we find out any more of those over the next few weeks, we'll definitely bring those up, especially with the Relics 24 preview coming up here in a few weeks. So, I'm excited. But next weekend we have the Chili Bowl watch party next Saturday. But this weekend, if you guys were tuned in a little bit to Flow Racing, man, the Tulsa Shootout this year was pretty fun to watch. I do want to congratulate Brexton Bush. He ends up claiming the junior sprints victory there in dominating fashion. I mean, not
Oh
even
yeah, he
close.
killed
That
him.
was impressive. Definitely, you could see shades of. He's got a little bit of a driving style of Kurt and Kyle kind of mixed together. It's kind of impressive to watch him race. So, congratulations to him. Also, Brett Cruz dominating win in the stock non-wing class. Great job there. Larson ends up winning the Wing A class because can't drive Cannon McIntosh according to Chimez. He ends up running into Clinton Boyles, battling for the lead. Larson takes the lead late and goes on to win. Larson dominates the Winged Outlaw class. Shout out to Hayden Hansen. He ends up winning the Restricteds class in a pretty dominant performance there as well. And then shout out to Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson with the A feature main of the event of the night of the entire event. The non-wing outlaws battled door to door, wheel to wheel for multiple laps there at the end, and there was some tough competition. Emerson Axon was up in the mix there for a little while. Dason Persley was up in the mix, but when it was all said and done, the last final laps, he had Larson chasing down Christopher Bell. Some good old classic flashback memories. And they're both going to be in the Chili Bowl this year with everything that lined up. It was pretty impressive to see what Larson did. Gets 2 of the 6 drillers this weekend. Damn near had the third one there, but Bell got it. But flying from Australia from the high limit sprint car stuff down at Perth, ends up catching a flight from Perth to Sydney to LA to Tulsa just to run in this event, and honestly did really good. His kid Owen Larson, I think, competed in the junior sprints there as well this weekend. It was his first ever time at the Tulsa Shootout. So Kyle Busch ran as well. He didn't make the A main, but definitely had some fun watching him try to figure that out. He said he had more faith in Brexton winning a driller than he did himself, so that was kind of funny that worked out like that. And then Christopher Bell. I think the main thing to say here about Christopher Bell is the first thing he said when he climbed out of the race car.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs. I mean, he kind of took the reins off
Finally.
his drivers, and let him go run some dirt
Finally.
stuff. And Christopher Bell took full advantage of it, man. I love to see it. That was awesome stuff. So
Yeah, that was
Joe
actually
Gibbs.
a really cool moment right there because Joe Gibbs has been the one to not let his drivers do anything else except focus on his programs. So for Joe Gibbs to branch out like that and then immediately get results out of his drivers like that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like Hendrick was the first one that kind of broke that mold because
Oh yeah,
they used to never let these drivers do anything outside of the NASCAR stuff. And then once Hendrick got Larson, kind of let Larson off the reins there, then I think Gibbs started to see the benefit of that and I think he released the reins. I think it's going to make or Christopher Bell an even better driver than he already is. I mean, that's the one thing that's racing is different than any other stick and ball sport. Repetition, dude. Repetition is huge. Like, you see a little bit of rust when you see other sports, like maybe if you watch basketball or something, you see a little bit of rust if you have the off time. But racing is more evident than anything. Like trying to jump from one class, you might have the talent to go and jump to another type of series and race, but just catching up is so hard. So just putting in reps is the main thing. So I think Christopher Bell is going to be on a tear this year, and I mean, we'll get into it in a minute, but I think I have a lot to say about Christopher Bell in accordance to what 2025 has to hold. But that was awesome, dude. Tulsa Shootout was so much fun, dude. That was a fun time. 6 different classes. I mean, we're racing for drillers. I mean, a whole week full of crazy action, great racing, and I'm excited for the Chili Bowl this year. I think it's going to be crazy exciting. I didn't see the total number on the entry list, but by the end of this podcast, I kind of want to go through each of the qualifier days and kind of note some of the notable entries in each one of the qualifying days and lead you into the Chili Bowl, because next Tuesday we'll already be 2 days into the Chili Bowl. So we'll give you our predictions on Tuesday and who wins it all. So, all right, Tom. Went over the news, went over Tulsa Shootout results. Let's go over the 2024 NASCAR season preview. I think we should start off with the Cup Series.
2025.
Or 2025, excuse me. Do you by chance have the schedule pulled up? That's one thing I forgot to pull up.
Yeah, let's do
I wanted to talk about some of the notable races on this season. I know including the New Mexico City race, which I'm super excited about. What are your expectations for the Mexico City race this year? Do you think it's going to be kind of like a Coda type race? Do you think it's going to play out more like a Watkins Glen, like a more traditional NASCAR
I think
road course?
Shit, dude. I think it's going to be nutty. I think that whole front straightaway and the final corner leading off into it,
Yes.
We're going to see like 4, 5, 6, 7 wide going into turn 1. I mean, obviously on the first lap, that's just going to happen. Probably a little bit of craziness happening into turn 1 as well. I mean, we see it every year in F1. It's just crazy. But we're talking about stock cars that are, well, now somewhat made to hit each other. If we were racing like Gen 6 or COT cars, we'd probably see a murder scene going into turn 1. But, that turn 1's going to be pretty crazy. 2, 3, turn 4 is going to be crazy. 5, 6 is going to be crazy.
The stadium section's going to be freaking
The stadium section is going to be phenomenal. That's going to be the action place. Other than turn 1 of the weekend, we're going to be seeing some pretty crazy stuff happening there. But honestly, a huge W to NASCAR to get this race on the schedule. When was the last time we went out of the States for a race?
2007.
Was it Japan?
No, because we've had Canada for a while. Or are you talking about Cup Series?
Cup Series.
Yeah, it was the All-Star events at Motegi.
Yeah. So this is huge. This is monumental. I mean, that was what, mid-90s?
Yeah,
right?
Dale was still around.
Early 90s. That was like 91, 92, wasn't it?
No, they did one in like 99, I think, because Junior and Dale raced against each other. Yeah, I think it was won by Mike Skinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, huge deal here. We're finally getting out of the States.
A century, basically.
Yeah. So, honestly, huge W. Getting this on the schedule. Honestly, this will be one of the probably few times this year I'll give some praise to NASCAR. Way to go! Good job. Keep it up. Don't stop just at Mexico City. Continue to try these new things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I find it really hard to believe that this isn't going to work. This track is freaking phenomenal.
I agree. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, if it was Montreal versus Mexico City, I think Mexico City might be a little bit better than Montreal. I love Montreal. Don't get me wrong. Montreal's got a soft spot in my heart, but I do love Mexico City, man. There's so many good races there. I think even some of the last NASCAR races they ran there in the Xfinity Series before they left were some of the best races ever. I remember that one year when was it Scott Pruitt and Juan Pablo Montoya were running into each other off the grass, back onto the track, making moves. Like, that was one of the best races. I'm excited for Mexico City. I think it's gonna be a great race. I'm excited for that weekend in whole. Also, Bowman Gray. What are your expectations for Bowman Gray? You think it's gonna play out like the Coliseum? You think it's gonna be another shit show? Yeah, I do too.
Yes.
I am not even excited for it at all. Like
No, I'm
at
not.
all. Like zero interest in this race. I'm gonna watch it because obviously that's what we do around here. But am I
We got
excited as I
nothing else to
was?
do.
Yeah. Was I excited as I was for the first year of the Clash? Not even close. That first year of the Clash, dude, I was over the moon ready for that. And this I just don't have the same feeling for it. Just doesn't feel the same. I know it's more not as glitz and glam. It's more back roads, short track familiarity, I guess.
Drink a
Maybe that's
beer.
what maybe that's what takes it away from me. I don't know. I'm just not excited for Bowman Gray at all.
Yeah, it's just to me, it just seems like a Luke Bryan fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It just blows my mind that we're having national televised race on Big Fox at Bowman Gray Stadium.
It reminds me
I
of
just don't
that
get it.
racetrack in Cars 3 where they go and practice where old HUD
Oh yeah.
raced at,
Yeah.
where it's just like, and then they go into the bar and it's just a bunch of old people, like all broken down and everything, just like a bunch of zombies, and that's what it reminds me of.
100%. 100%.
We'll see though. Look, it might be freaking crazy. It might be boring as snot. I don't know. We'll see.
No.
I'm not holding my hopes.
Yeah,
so.
me neither. I mean, if they cut the car count down to like put it down to like 16 instead of 25, like they try to do at the Clash, I think it could be better. But NASCAR, they want to manufacture as much carnage as they can.
Yeah.
We also have 2 Atlanta races on the schedule. That I'm least excited about that. Least excited about any short track. We haven't really seen. We've seen glimpses of good tire wear, but we just haven't seen it yet. So I'm not really excited about any of the short tracks. I'm excited. Darlington back to the first race of the playoffs,
Always.
where it needs to be. Darlington's like pretty much like the gold standard, I feel like, of NASCAR races. Considering they took off like Kentucky and they took off Auto Club and Chicagoland. So I think Darlington's definitely that crown jewel bearer now. Also with Talladega moving further in the playoffs, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm still kind of skeptical on that moving further into October. Phoenix championship race again, not excited about that. Playoff format, nothing's changed, not excited about that. There's just so many like things that I'm just not excited about. Look at the schedule, and yes, we bring in Mexico City. That's awesome, exciting. Darlington gets its playoff spot back. Daytona, I guess, is the season finale again. But you look at the schedule, there's really not much else has changed, right? I mean, we have Michigan's changed dates. I think they moved back or up forward a little bit, I think, this year. Up into like early June, if I'm not mistaken. Pocono moved back from last year. Watkins Glen moves back up into September, August time. I'm not a fan of that. I thought that as a playoff race was a good idea. New Hampshire moves into the playoffs, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little nostalgic, but I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, there's just so many weird changes, right? That just didn't feel necessary to me.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about the package they're bringing week in and week out than, I mean, honestly, because like, look, first Bristol race, 2024, phenomenal. It was great. We finally figured out what we needed for short track, or they did. We knew. They finally figured it out, right? We need to bring a softer tire. And then we go to Bristol 2 and it's terrible. What's going to happen in Bristol 1 in 2025?
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a wild card. I don't really know. But Daytona, okay, it's the Daytona 500. Looking forward to that. Atlanta is whatever. We got Circuit of the Americas for the 3rd race this year. Race number 3.
I'm a fan of that. I like an early road course. I think that's good.
I do too. I think it's great. You can lock yourself in if you're a road course ace like SVG. He can lock himself in early and then test for the rest of the year until the playoffs come.
It feels like the Coda races kind of replace Fontana as that West Coast swing, because they go Circuit of America's, Phoenix, and Vegas. I mean, it kind of feels like a West Coast swing right there, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Darlington's going to be one to look out for.
Mother's
obviously, Darlington's going to be, Darlington's always a good race. Vegas will be a good race too. Talladega is our annual Talladega trip, the annual boys trip. That's April 27th. We'll be in Talladega if you guys are going to be there. Let's see.
Chicago's back on
Kansas.
July 6th. Yeah, Kansas is going to be great this year.
Kansas is going to be a good race. Let's see.
Dover's in July this year. I feel like that's new. I feel like it's been in like May the last few years. That's interesting.
I mean, Chicago Street Race, that's a banger. Sonoma,
Oh, I like that. Sonoma and Charlotte or Chicago back to back. I like that a
back to
lot.
back.
Iowa
That'd be
early
easier for the
August
teams
now.
too. Yeah. Then you got Watkins Glen. Then you got Daytona to round out the year there. And then we go to playoffs. Darlington,
Gateway's a
Worldwide,
playoff
Bristol,
race. Yep.
Hampshire. Oh, we got Kansas in the round of 12. That'll be a good one. We're going back to the Roval because that's a stunning hit. And then for the round of 8, we got Vegas, which will be a banger. Talladega, which will be a banger. And then if they can figure out what tire they can bring to Martinsville to make it work, that'll be a banger. And then we go to Phoenix to round out the year, which I feel like is a terrible disappointment.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I mean,
Races I'm most excited for. It's gonna be Daytona. It's gonna be Darlington, Kansas.
Both Kansas races for sure. Both
Yep.
Vegas races.
Yep. And Mexico City, Coda,
Chicago,
Watkins Glen, Chicago.
Basically any
That's what I'm
road
looking for.
course or any mile and a half that is like Kansas or Vegas. And then
I hope Bristol turns out good. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. But I don't. Typically, I'm a pessimist, but I'm gonna be optimistic here.
Alrighty. Yeah, so that's the schedule for the Cup Series. We'll go quickly over the Xfinity. There's a few differences in Xfinity. If I'm not mistaken, I think Xfinity owns Easter weekend all by itself for the Rockingham return. It does. Easter weekend for Xfinity, headliner on Saturday. That's going to be must-watch TV. If you guys have been around the channel, which I know you guys, a lot of you guys have, but damn, do we love the Xfinity series. It's all going to be on CW by itself this year. Its own broadcasting team, its own broadcasting format. Nothing else related to the Cup. It's going to be fantastic, man. I'm so excited for the Xfinity series this year.
Jay, we missed one thing with the Cup schedule. We got that Denny Hamlin challenge happening.
Yes, I forgot to say that. Yes, good question. So is it I think it's TNT, right? They're taking over that 4-week stint for the driver playoff.
It's 5.
5 races, 5-race tournament. Winner gets a certain amount of money, cash money. That's pretty damn cool. I'm excited for that. That is a big dub by the NASCAR to keep the summer months relevant. I'm excited to see how it works out. And if it works out good, I think you should introduce it to Xfinity and Trucks because they've tried that Dash for Cash thing before, which is cool. But I think the bracket challenge is way better, in my opinion. I think that's going to be, especially, I think they need to set the matchups not based upon how you are in points. I think they just need to do a random draw like the week before, you know?
I think mostly it kind of appeals to the stick and ball sport guys.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything is in a bracket for those guys. If you put it in a bracket for, a racing series, which we know is pretty difficult to do, right? NASCAR's been trying to do it since the dawn of the playoff era. And most of it's been an abysmal failure. But to put a championship inside of a championship, that's pretty cool. That's a good outlook on how to change things because it's thinking outside the box. I feel like they really knocked it out of the park here.
Well, it's kind of what IMSA does, right? Because IMSA has 2 different championships in their championship fight. They've got the drivers owners championship thing, and then they also have the endurance championship as well. So it's kind of the same but different. NBA, I think, has done it with the in-season tournament with the NBA, where there's a second championship in their season, and that's been a success. So I think that this is kind of NASCAR's version of that, and I kind of like it, and I'm going to see how it works out.
I think it's going to be a freaking success.
Big success. Too. I think a lot of people are going to get it too. And it's a bracket that makes sense, unlike the playoff bracket. It's driver v driver, and it's the highest finish at the end of the race gets to advance. That's freaking as simple as it gets, dude. So if you've got a bracket and you've got a matchup, you just watch those 2 drivers and you figure out who finishes higher. That's who advances. It's that easy, man. I love it. I love it. It's going to have a perfect bracket in that. It's going to be like the March Madness bracket. It's going to be almost damn near impossible to get a correct bracket because anything can happen in racing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Yeah. So the Xfinity Series schedule. The only differences that I noticed so far from the Cup schedule is obviously that Rockingham Easter weekend event, which I'm super excited about. I think that's gonna be a smash hit race. I'm gonna be tuned in like crazy for that race. I think it's gonna be freaking fantastic. The other change as well was Iowa Speedway, or no, not Iowa. Where's I looking at? Portland. Portland moves to the end of August. They move it away from their summer date, which kind of bums me out because now it might conflict with my IndyCar. I was going to go for IndyCar and Xfinity to Portland this year, and now I got to figure out how I can go back-to-back weekends. That's kind of a conflict of interest for me. I don't really like that. So it'd be cool if they put them on the same damn weekend.
That's what they need to do.
That's what 100% needs to happen. But
Yeah, that's just what needs to happen.
yeah, so we'll see. And then besides that, the format's basically the same. So really just those two marquee events.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Truck Series real quick because there's less races. There's only a couple changes. I believe they're also racing on Easter weekend on Friday night of Easter weekend. They're racing at Rockingham with the Xfinity Series. Also, the Lime Rock Park race is on July 28th. Super excited about this, dude. Can't even. Lime Rock Park is one of those tracks I just freaking love, man. Ever since I first watched a race there like years ago, I've always loved Lime Rock. I've always wanted to be on a NASCAR schedule, and we get it this year. I'm excited.
I don't know, man. Look, with Lime Rock, I have an opinion about it, just because when I was coming up through the ranks in iRacing, taking Mazda MX-5s through there and just getting absolutely, the Rock Johnson through turn one, and every freaking race that I did, and just trying to drive around boneheads every hour that it was going on, it just brings back a bunch of PTSD. And, I hope nobody else had to go through that. Yeah.
I feel like that's why a lot of people hate it. To drive on it, it's like that, but to watch the races there, it's hell entertaining.
Yeah, right. Probably.
Yeah. Oh man. Also, Darlington. The Xfinity is not doing the fall race co-op with Xfinity and Cup. It's now gonna be Trucking Cup. So that's a little bit of a different change there with Darlington. Let's see. And I think that's really the only other change. They're going to be doing the Roval this year with the trucks. That's interesting. Is this the first time the truck's done the Roval? That's going to be interesting, dude.
We can check 2024 real
Talk
quick.
about an absolute crash fest, dude. I don't think they have, dude. I think it's always been Xfinity and Cup. Now we're going to have all three series. It's a Friday night or a Friday afternoon race. 3:30 Eastern time.
They didn't do it last year.
Yeah, dude, this is gonna be nuts. That might actually be must-watch TV, especially if they use the format they used this year.
Yeah,
that might be a shit show, dude. Oh man. Other than that, I mean, the schedule's basically the same. I'm excited for, like I said, Lime Rock, Rockingham. Now I might be actually excited now about the Roval for the truck race. That might be maddening. Oh man. Alrighty, so we went over schedules. Went over some of the major races. I think we pretty much summarized which races we're looking forward to the most. So let's do some driver and team lineups, and maybe some championship picks and dark horse threats. I say let's just do due diligence. Let's start with the truck series going into 2025. We got Daniel Hemrick making his move back down to the truck series. He's going to be racing for McAnally in the number 19 machine. I wouldn't put him as a championship favorite. We got Tyler Ankrum, who led the points early last year. He's going to be returning to McAnally. Say this 10 times fast. Gio Ruggiero is going to be with Tricon in the 17 full-time. Tanner Gray's back with Tricon. Jake Garcia's back with ThorSport. Corey Heim's back again with Tricon. Grant Enfinger's back. Tony Bringer obviously with Tricon. Those are pretty much some of your favorites next year going into the season. Lane Riggs back with Front Row. We'll talk about him more in a second. Bailey Curry, Matt Mills, as well as Christian Rose, Caden Honeycutt are going to fill out the Nice lineup in 2025. Spire with Raja coming back in the 71, with Chase Purdy back in the 77. Connor Mosack with McAnally in the 81. Crafton's back again, still not in the retirement phase yet of his life. Jack Wood with McAnally, of course. Ty Majesker, defending champions, back with ThorSport, as well as Ben Rhodes. And those are your full-time guys in the truck series in 2025. Tom, first off, I think we should start off here with our defending champion. Let's start with Ty Majeski. Can he go back to back? Do you think he'll find himself back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Championship 4 this year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's on a freaking roll, man. There's no reason why he should not be in the Final Four this year.
Okay. I would say the opposite. We've seen I think he's gonna have a Ben Rhodes-esque season. We saw Ben Rhodes win the championship 2 years ago and really took a step back this year. I think we see a lot with Ty Majeski. I think ThorSport's a tough team to figure out, man. They go in ebbs and flows, dude. When everything's clicking, they're the best team on track. When everything's not clicking, they miss the playoffs, don't make championship 4, don't win a lot of races. I think that this year could be a down year for ThorSport. But I think you're right, though. I think the expectation for Ty Majeski is he should be in the championship 4 this year. And if he doesn't, anything short of championship 4, I think is an absolute disappointment for Ty Majeski 2025.
Yeah, well, let's be honest here. I mean, ThorSport's not the best car, can't bring the best trucks to some racetracks, but let's just group all the short tracks together. That's where Ty Majeski absolutely shines. He could take a Room Brothers truck and contend in the top 5, I believe, on any short track on the Truck Series schedule. I just think that Ty Majeski is that guy when it comes to the Truck Series, and I think that regardless of whatever team that he does race for, he has that shot. I mean, any team other than probably Norm Benning's team, but other than that, I think he's probably got a shot at a championship 4. I just think that Ty Majeski is that guy when it comes to the Truck Series. There's a couple guys there that could be that guy as well. I mean, we got Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger. I mean, and I know you brought up Ben Rhodes. I just think that guy drinks too much.
Yeah, you're
to be honest with you. I think he just probably got lazy. And I'm not saying that he's going to win the championship next year because I don't believe that. I mean, I got my pick, but
I do too.
Well, lead it off.
All right. All right. Well, I went over this multiple times. I was like, who's going to win the championship? With Eckes leaving, that pretty much looks directly at Corey Heim, right? Corey Heim should be the championship favorite. Not so fast. Not so fast. He hasn't done it twice now. How many times is he going to lose one before he can win one? I don't know. What driver ended 2024 hotter than any driver in the entire Truck Series season? That's the man that drove the number 38 Loves machine, Lane Riggs. I think Lane Riggs is going to have an absolute tear of a season. He finally figured out them damn trucks by the end of the year. And when he finally figured them out, he was almost goddamn unstoppable. I'm going to take Lane Riggs to win the championship this year. And like you said, I think Majeski's going to make Final Four. I don't think you can hold down ThorSport. They're going to get at least one truck in. I think their front runner right now will be Ty Majeski. I think you can't count Corey Haim out. He's definitely going to win most races this season. I think him and Lane Riggs are going to be trading wins like Eckes and him did last year. I think he'll be there as well. And then when it comes to my my fourth, I think it's really open to anybody. I mean, you mentioned Grant Enfinger. I think that's a great pick. I wouldn't count out the McAnally trucks, whether I don't really feel like Ankrum or Hemrick are the guys to look at, but who knows? You never know. Weird win at the right time. You also have, who else?
Raja.
Raja Caruth. This could be the year. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Raja Caruth. I'm excited to see what he could do. And then I guess one dark horse who I'm super, super excited about this year, and I have a feeling he's going to win races. Him and Phil Gould are going to absolutely tear the world on fire this year. Caden Honeycutt. Watch out for Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah.
He is making the playoffs this year. Mark my damn word. He's making the playoffs 2025. Caden Honeycutt is in the championship fight. And if they get hot at the right time, he's going to carry that Nice Motorsports machine to the Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my dark horse.
That was your dark horse? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my dark horse.
He's got to be, dude. If you're overlooking him, what are you doing?
Caden Honeycutt is a phenomenal driver with the right equipment. Look, he's being linked up with historically, probably, arguably, the best crew chief ever to exist in the Truck Series. And I firmly believe that. I think Phil Gould is just a phenomenal crew chief. No bias either. No bias. But yeah, I think that group, that lineup right there is, if Caden can get his feet, planted on the ground and really get on the same thought path as Phil Gould. Those guys are going to be freaking unstoppable. Ty Majeski's going to be really strong. Corey Heim is going to be really strong. I think Roger Carruth is going to be really strong. Lane Riggs, you made the point there. Yeah, everything about that. I'm all about it. But obviously, I'm going to go with the Homer. Has almost done it 2 years in a row. I'm going to go with Grant Enfinger. Not my safe pick. This is a pick that I honestly believe in. I think that Grant has that experience, has the speed. He came in with a brand new team this year, CR7, with a little bit of an alliance, and really started off the season extremely slow, just bad. But throughout the year, really that team worked on its own program, got fast. I don't think that and made the Final Four. I don't think that stops at the Final Four in Phoenix last year. It continues on this year. We're going to be seeing that 9 truck in Victory Lane a lot more this year. And it's going to be at the hands of the leadership at CR7 and the driver Grant Enfinger. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of them this year.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited for Grant Enfinger in 2025. I definitely agree with what you said. I think we're going to see a lot more of him this year up at the front. I'm going to name 3 rookies. You're going to tell me who has the better rookie season. Tony Breininger, Rio Ruggiero, or Christian Rose?
Christian Rose.
I guess we could throw Connor Mosack in there too.
It's still Christian Rose. I think so.
Okay. I think that's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Christian
but
Rose I've been impressed with. I've been really impressed with him with Thunderfund teams, but he's moving over with Nice. I think Nice is going to be a lot better this year than they have been. I think especially with the leading there with Caden Honeycutt. Tony Breininger's going to struggle. I think Rio Ruggiero is going to struggle too. He's not been that consistent.
But we're talking about Nice here.
Yeah, I think
it's got to be Christian Rose. They've got the engineering team behind them. They've got the people in place. They've proved it time and time again. Proven race winning team. I think Christian Rose is just set up for success.
Alrighty. I think I'll have to agree with that because obviously I feel like that team's gonna be good this year, and it's all gonna be really who hits the ground running faster. Tricom have a proven record, so does McAnally with Mosack, so it'll be interesting. One guy we did not mention at all,
Frankie
Chandler Smith and Frankie Muniz, I guess would be the other one. Yeah. How good do you think Frankie does this year? I forgot to notice him as a contender as well. I don't see much. It's Ray Ohm brothers. It's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a tough year. And then also Chandler Smith running full time with Front Row. Teammates Lane Riggs. I think he's going to be a championship contender as well.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Riggs, as a teammate running for Front Row.
Yeah, that's
going to be a tough team to beat.
That's going to be a Final Four car right there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Alrighty. We gave our championship picks. We gave our best performing rookie. Who's our biggest surprise in 2025, do you think? For good or worse? Surprise is something that we might not. Somebody that's going to shock us in a good way or a bad way. I don't know.
Jack Wood, probably. I would say probably Jack Wood. Jack Wood with the McAnally car.
I'm gonna go Matt Mills with Nice. I think he's gonna he's shown how good he is on super speedways. I think Matt Mills could potentially be a guy to win a race this year at some point. And maybe even put that 42 truck in positions at certain times during the year to have a top 10, top 15 finish. So I think he could be your surprise driver this year. And I think Jack Wood's a good choice, man. I think Jack Wood, his year's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be surprise us in a way that we're just going to be like, holy cow, he's got more talent than we expected, or he's going to shock us in another way and be like, well, how the hell do you take a McAnally truck and put it in the wall every day? I don't know. What's the surprise going to be?
No, that's the number 1 truck.
That's the number 1 truck. Yeah,
you watch out. Sorry, not the number 1, the number 5. Sorry.
Oh yeah. We'll see how she does this year. I'm optimistic, but we're gonna have to see how it all plays out. All right, we're gonna do the same thing we did with Trucks. Will do it with Xfinity. Um, we can kind of go over some of the favorites, and maybe pick our championship favorites. Obviously Jesse Love's going to be a factor. Sheldon Creed moving over to Haas factory team. Carson Quapple in the one machine with Junior Motorsports. We also have Sammy Smith, Connor Zilich over there with Junior Motorsports. Daniel Dye moving up with Colleague. I can't wait to talk about him here in a minute. Josh Williams is still with Colleague in the 11 this year. Harrison Burton with AM Racing. Christian Eckes moves over with Colleague in the 16. Sawalich full-time in the 18 for Joe Gibbs. We also have Brandon Jones in the number 20 full-time with just Joe Gibbs. Austin Hill's back, obviously. We just talked about Dean Thompson earlier. Ryan Sieg gonna keep doing Sieg things. Sam Mayer with Haas factory team. Nick Sanchez moving up as rookie over there with Big Machine Vodka in the 48. Taylor Gray with Joe Gibbs full time in the 54. And new team of Viking Motorsports with Matt Benedetto. So, I guess with that being said, Tom, I guess my championship pick for 2025, I said it in my bold predictions. I'm going to stick with it all the way to the end. This team has been absolutely fast. I don't know if it's going to look the same this year as it did the last couple of years with the Cole Custer behind the wheel. But I have a lot of confidence in this driver. I don't think there's a driver coming into 2025 that's more hungry than Sheldon Creed. How many freaking times does he have to finish second place? 2025 is his year, man. 2025 is Sheldon Creed's year. He's going to win the championship. He's going to win a lot of races. The competition's going to be stout this year in Xfinity. I mean, I already look at it now. Carson Quapple, I would consider him to be a playoff contender, maybe even championship 4 contender. Same with Jesse Love. Zilich is going to win a lot of freaking races this year. Watch out, World. And then I don't really know what to feel about AM Racing this year. I don't really know where they're going to go. Christian Eckes with Colleague, that could be interesting. I think this is the type of driver Colleague's been looking for. They just haven't been smart enough to put one of these type of drivers in their cars for the last few years. So we'll see how that works out. Brandon Jones, I don't know. He's in Joe Gibbs equipment. Who knows? Sam Mayer, teammate to Creed. If I was to guess right now what my championship 4 would be, I'd put obviously Creed, Zilich, Allgaier, Creed, Zilich, Allgaier, and then I guess let's just say Sawalich. Why not? Why not
Sawalich? Yeah, I think there's a lot of players here for the Xfinity series. Again, Xfinity is just it's a mint racing series. We're talking about the top tier of stock car racing in North America. It's the Xfinity series. So all these guys in here, you know, you've got very prominent rookies coming in this year. You've got veterans of the series going back or trying to go back-to-back championships this year. I think there's a lot to break down here. I think one to really look at here is Jesse Love. I think Jesse Love got a win in his rookie year at Talladega, and really had some great showings all year long with that RCR car. RCR had that surprise win at Homestead with Austin Hill. Seriously, that surprised me. I'm still surprised about it. But I think that program is still being worked on. I mean, obviously you've got the I don't know, balloon head of Austin Hill that he is, but with Jesse Love there, with some true racing talent, I think that he could actually win more races this year, given the right position in the right cars. I think he's one to look out for. Obviously, you got to be looking at Connor Zilich. I hate to say it, Sammy Meyer is going to win some races. Sam Meyer, sorry. I was thinking Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith's going to win some races too. Not some. He's probably just going to win one. I'm scrolling through here. I'm looking at all these. I just glanced over Ryan Sieg. I think Ryan Sieg is going to have a team that can win multiple races this year. They should have won multiple races this year. They were fast at Homestead, got caught up in a wreck late, should have won Texas. I'm throwing a brain fart, can't think of anything else. But watch out for Ryan Sieg, seriously. I think Ryan Sieg is going to be up there winning some races. Who am I looking at, man? I don't know. I'm kind of losing faith in Justin Allgaier, to be honest with you. I feel like he got that one championship, and it's just probably going to be downhill for him. Daniel Dye at Colleague. I mean, Daniel Dye could be a revival for that Colleague or for that Colleague team. Josh Williams really didn't do anything in 2024 at all. I was super excited for it. Nothing happened from it. Crashed a lot. Had horrible finishes. But we've also seen the downhill trend of what Colleague has been. AJ Allmendinger barely pulled a win out at Vegas. Barely. And we're talking about AJ Allmendinger here. So, you know, Parker Retzlaff going from Jordan Anderson to Alpha Prime. I think Parker is a little bit of a hidden gem. I think he's actually a pretty good race car driver. Just got to get some good equipment there. But yeah, I think the drivers to look out for, I think they're going to be the rookies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Carson Kvapil. I think it's going to be Connor Zilic.
Nick Sanchez, William Sawalich. I mean, this is a stacked rookie
class. Sawalich, yeah. I don't know about Sanchez though. You know, I don't know. I just have this feeling about Sanchez. I mean, we got Blaine Perkins.
Yeah.
And replacing Parker Retzlaff. So at Jordan Anderson. So Harrison Burton, I don't think he's going to do anything.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not really optimistic about that.
It's really too bad AM Racing took the path that they did. They would be a race contending.
They were on the right
winning
trajectory, and they just they killed it.
They
killed all the
momentum
momentum and all everything they had built for 2 years. They killed it in one.
They killed it. They killed it in a half season. In a half season, they killed it. Not even a half season. It was like a quarter season. They killed it. Killed it. All that year's work, they killed it. And now Harrison Burton's going to have to put on his big boy pants and try to rebuild a team that he's never done before. It's a recipe for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Championship 4, I'm going to put Connor Zilic in there. I'm going to put Carson Kvapil in there.
Yeah.
I am. I'd love to see Sheldon Creed in there. I don't know. We'll see. Man, I'm gonna put Jesse Love in there.
Those are good picks.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's lots of good experience, good drivers here. Again, Xfinity, freaking phenomenal season. You can't script it. It's great. You gotta watch it. But that's what I'm gonna go with.
Can we both agree that maybe Connor Zilic is gonna be the most impressive rookie in 2025?
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I mean, it's hard. It's a good rookie class. I mean, like I mentioned, we got Taylor Gray, Nick Sanchez, William Sawalich, Carson Kvapil, and Connor Zilic. I mean, out of those 5, I mean, those are all 5.
I mean, unless he hurts himself.
Yeah, right.
I think he's the guy.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I like what you said about Ryan Sieg. I think that he is on a winning recipe this year. I think Ryan Sieg will win races this year. I think he's going to finally break through. I think he's going to be a championship contender. And then with that as well, I like what you said about Retzlaff. I agree. I think that we're going to see a lot out of Retzlaff this year. It's going to surprise some people. Other than that, man, I don't think Matt Benedetto doing any good with this new startup team. That's tough to do. Be interested to see how good Jeb Burton can do this year. Back with Jordan Anderson again. I mean, that's the consistency. Got a new crew chief. We'll see how that works out for him in 2025. But I think the one takeaway I have out of the Xfinity this year, Tom, and I think it is my biggest surprise. I think that's gonna be Colleague. I think Colleague is finally making the right decisions driver wise. We got Eckes, we got Dye. I think both of them are exceptional talents. I think both of them can lead a race team. I think both of them can win races, and I'm excited to see what that team with those 2 drivers can do this year. And maybe we could see an uptick in Colleague racing and the development in the future. And I think between Eckes and Daniel Dye, I think both of them are competing for that 10 ride in the Cup Series in 2026 to take over for Ty Dillon after he inevitably flops and trips on his own appendage. So we'll see.
What are some of these people thinking, man?
I have no idea. Alrighty. Is there anything else you want to mention with the Cup Series or the Xfinity Series? Is there anything that you're surprised or that's going to be a surprise for you this upcoming?
I'm just ready for another banger freaking Xfinity Series, man. Season, sorry. I'm ready for it.
It's can't miss television, man. Can't miss television. Xfinity is absolute banger. Alrighty. Let's go over the final series we're going to talk about here tonight. We'll talk about the Cup Series. Let's talk about some of the new rides this year going into 2025. Noah Gragson over to Front Row Motorsports in the 4 machine. Justin Haley full-time with Spire in the 7. Colleague, like I mentioned, with Ty Dillon in the 10. We'll see how that one works out. Allmendinger making his return to the Cup in the 16. Chase Briscoe with Joe Gibbs in the 19. Josh Berry with Wood Brothers in the 21. Front row with moving Todd Gillen over to the 38 and then moving Zane Smith to the 38. Riley Herbst with the 2311's new charter team with the 35 car. Cole Custer with the Haas Factory team in the 41. Let's see. Cody Ware full-time with Rick Ware Racing in the 51, most likely at this point. Ryan Preece in the 3rd entry for Roush Fenway. Kozlowski Racing in the 60 car. Michael McDowell in the 71 for Spire. Trackhouse 88 with Shane Van Gisbergen. Some interesting stuff there. I guess the best way to start this off, Tom, I think we should go over our championship picks early 2025. I know I picked him to win the championship when the playoffs started last year. I feel like he kind of got screwed. I mean, no, I don't feel like he got screwed. He got screwed. He got 100% freaking screwed. Christopher Bell, redemption, 2025 NASCAR Cup champion. I'm putting, if I had to put money on it right now, who is winning the 2025 championship, I'm putting it on Christopher Bell all day long. I mean, he's the one to beat. It's just he's clear heads over favorite. I think he's the best driver in the Cup Series, and I don't even think it's particularly close, to be honest with you. I think he is head over heels the best driver right now.
Oh yeah, that was my pick for 2025 championship.
Heck yeah, dude. But they can ride along his right saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes in line with what we were talking about with his win in Tulsa, and everything that surrounds it. He's going to be able to race whatever he wants all year long. It's that repetition that you were talking about as well. It is a key figure on getting yourself warmed up to a car, to multiple cars, to multiple series. It's just what you have to do. That's why all the teams own simulators now. Mm-hmm. To get the repetition on the tracks before they go to the track. It's so important. We know Kyle Larson, right? Hung money. He's going to do it all year long again. He's going to win. Yeah, he's going to have those one-off crazy deals where he doesn't trip on his own appendage. But yeah, look, Kyle Larson is going to choke it away once again. And if he doesn't, by God, holy cow. But honestly, who are you choosing other than Chris Bell?
Yeah.
Seriously, who? I mean,
not really. I mean,
other than your favorite driver,
right?
But but
Blaney's only going to win it if he makes it to Phoenix. That's it. I mean, if he can't make
it
there.
Team Penske struggles all year long. Mm-hmm. And somehow gets a Mickey Mouse race win and fight their way all the way to the Final Four, and then that's how they have such a good Phoenix package.
Yeah. It's
so good. But I think that Chris Bell dethrones Penske this year. In fact, Jay, last year, we were sitting here on a podcast calling our 2024 champions. I remember I said Joey Logano from the get-go.
Did say Joey Logano was going to get a championship for at least.
If I put $5 on that guy, $5 on that date, I would have won $30,000.
Yeah.
$30,000 because some dude did it. Some dude put $5 on Joey Logano and he won $30,000. So this year, I'm putting $10 on Chris Bell.
I might do the same, to be honest with you, dude. I haven't been this confident about a championship pick in a freaking long time, man. Christopher Bell is going to be a champion. I mean, I mean, we could sit here and debate who's going to be the other guys in the championship four, and I think obviously could throw Blaney's name in there in the ring there because he just seems to turn up in the. I think you can cross Joey Logano off. It's an even year.
Yeah, cross it off.
Or it's
He'll
an
be
odd
on a
year.
milk carton.
He'll be back on the milk carton again, like 2023. I don't know. Kyle Larson hung money. I think you can maybe chalk him up for at least
Byron.
a round of 8. A Byron, a round of 8 at least. Really Eddie Hedrick Carr for a round of 8. I think you got Reddick. I think he could potentially be a championship 4 contender this year. Busher is definitely a round of 8 guy this year. I think Hamlin's a round of 8 guy this year, obviously. But when it all said and done, I think it's Bell. All right. I guess the next thing, out of the guys that made new moves to new rides this year, who do you think has the best performance? We're talking about Josh Berry. We're talking about Michael McDowell. We're talking about Lyle Gregson. We're talking about Ty Dillon. We're talking about Chase Briscoe. You know,
it's Gregson.
You think Gregson? With front row.
I do. And I'll tell you why. His whole engineering team from Stuart Haas came with him. He's got Drew Blickensderfer. He's got his car chief with him, the mechanics. They got all that knowledge from SHR and plugging it into the upcoming successes of front row. I think Noah Gragson is look, the only other guy I feel like that could challenge that is Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
With JGR. I think that's the only other guy, but I don't think Chase Briscoe is that spectacular of a driver. I just don't think he is. I think he's mid.
So yeah. I was going to pick Chase Briscoe, and I think it's purely by car. I don't think it's talent. I don't.
Yeah, you still got to have some talent to win a race, though, Jay.
Yeah, that's true.
True. You know, you still got to last the 400, 500, 600 miles and not just blow the car into the wall week after week. We saw Casey Kane do it at Hendrick. You know, we all saw Casey Kane as the next big product of racing, goes to Hendrick and absolutely shits the bed. You know, I mean, well, I wouldn't say absolutely. I mean, he
had
didn't perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't perform like what everybody was talking about.
Right.
He wasn't the next Dale Earnhardt.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think, though, that we're looking at the next Casey Kane with Chase Briscoe. I just think he's very mid. I really do.
I'm with you on that one, too.
And honestly, Noah Gragson is probably the same. Honestly, but I feel like with the successes that front row is having, with the good strategies calls that the good calls in general that they're having, they're calling all the SHR guys and getting them over to their shop to get their knowledge and getting that group beefed up. It's kind of like what Pratt and Miller did in IMSA.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like front row is the Pratt and Miller of NASCAR right now. So I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of success out of front row this year. And I think that Noah Gragson is going to outperform Chase Briscoe.
I'm excited. to see that. I would like to see Lyle Gregson, Todd Gilliland. That's what leads me to my next point, especially with the bringing up front row. Last year, I rode the Todd Gilliland bandwagon all season long. I said he was going to win a race. It didn't happen for me. My Todd Gilliland of 2025 is going to be Hosen Karsovar. I think Hosen Karsovar wins a race in 2025.
Yes. Yeah, same. I thought he was going to win a race this year.
He was close so many times. I mean, damn.
I rode that train all year long too, even through the beginning parts of the year when Spire was really struggling when they had Zane and Carson and old stacking pennies, which I hope he did enough of because he ain't coming back. But yeah, but at the end of the year, holy cow, those top 10s really started showing up. Top 5 started showing up for him too. I agree. I think it's Hosen Karsovar.
Alrighty. Do you think Kyle Busch breaks his winless streak this year? Finally wins a race?
Yes.
I say no. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so.
I think he does.
All right, we'll have to keep tabs on that one. I say no. Tom says yes. That was one of my fringe bold predictions for 2025, and I left it off the list. So we'll see. I don't know. Just the way that they trended towards the end of the year, it's a good possibility. But can they start strong? We've seen lots of teams though in that, especially in other motorsports. When you see a team trend good at the end of the year, they usually start good the next year. NASCAR is not like that. NASCAR is so weird like that, where you're looking at a team and a driver, and you're like, damn, this team is gonna be one to watch in 2020 the next season, and then the next season rolls around and they just absolutely take 2 steps backwards. And it's like, how were they one of the hottest teams in the previous year, and now they're one of the worst? I mean, I feel like, I don't know. We'll see how they can
Example,
answer the call.
Stuart Haas.
Stuart Haas, 100%, 100%. Yes. Alrighty. I guess who's gonna be the best performing rookie this year? We've got or really, who is the rookies this year? We have we just have Riley Herbst. Really? Is that really the only rookie we have this year? Well, that's kind of an ill point question. Well,
It's gonna be Riley Herbst.
Instead of rookie, let's go young guns. So we got Zane Smith. Let's say guys that are 2 or less years of experience in the Cup Series. So that would give us Josh Berry, Shane Van Gisbergen, Riley Herbst, Cole Custer's in his second stint, so that don't count. So Zane Smith, Riley Herbst, Shane Van Gisbergen, Josh Berry, and that's it. Who performs the best out of those guys? I guess not. No, Lyle counts. You already said Lyle.
Does he?
Yeah, Lyle. This will be his second full-time season. Third.
No, this is third.
Third. Yeah, so he doesn't count either. Yeah. So it's Barry, Zane, Hocevar, SVG, and Herbst.
I don't know. I'll probably go with Host and Carson.
Yeah, I was about to say Host and Carson. I think SVG is going to win a race, at least a couple. Your bold prediction was he wins every road and street course this year. We'll see how that pans out. Yeah. He's going to be a threat at every.
I'm sticking to it, okay? I'm sticking to it.
I agree. He's going to be a threat at every single one of them. I just don't know how many he's actually going to be able to win. It's always weird how these Mickey Mouse races. We'll see. I guess another one I was wondering, with Justin Haley moving over to Spire and Michael McDowell moving over to front row, or to Spire as well. Out of those two, who has the best performance for Spire for their first year? Haley or McDowell?
McDowell.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
Yeah, I think McDowell will do better. What was the other one I was gonna mention? With well, obviously you think it's gonna be Lyle over Zane. I agree on that one. I think out of those two, I think that would be a definite pick for me. Ty Dillon, I'm not putting any expectations on him. I guess the other question mark is there is still one open seat over there at the 15 machine. Looks like it might be part-time, it's a chartered car, but might be full-time in 2025. Do we see a Corey LaJoy attempt in the Cup Series with anybody in 2025?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that'd probably be a seat for the aspiring, struggling race car driver. Like, I don't know, Brett Moffitt?
Yeah. Well, but he doesn't have the talent Brett Moffitt has. That's the difference.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
I guess the last thing I want to talk about here, Ryan Preece. What are your expectations for Ryan Preece with the third RFK charter in 2023 or 2025? Bringing in big sponsorship.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like RFK has 2 routes here. They continue on their winning ways and bring along a third car, and that third car wins, or it turns into the legacies of Richard Petty Motorsports. Whenever they add a new car, everything goes to shit. I think it either goes one of those 2 ways.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's really any other opportunity there. I think Ryan Preece has the talent to win races. I mean, RFK's proven they have the equipment to win races. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do in 2025. NASCAR is just so hard to predict, and we say it all the time, but it really is kind of Mickey Mouse. I mean, the way that they've designed the sport to be raced and competed for championships, it just feels so.
And the tracks, man.
And the tracks. And the track selection, the car. I mean, there's just so many factors to NASCAR now where it's hard to predict. But I think we're both in consensus. Hocevar is going to have a big year. He's going to shock some people. And then obviously Chris Terrell for the championship. Other than that, everything else is really hard to predict. Obviously, we're going to have the same old faces competing in the playoffs every year. It always happens. Same teams.
I have a question.
Yes. Go for it.
What one driver do you think is going to have the most drama surrounding them throughout the year?
Oh, this is a good one. Oh man, with Ricky Roundhouse in the sport. Oh man, we got Ty Dillon, who's going to be an absolute cannon this year.
Denny Hamlin,
Denny Hamlin, obviously with his
Carson
antics every
Hocevar.
year. Hocevar going to be running up front. Man, there is some damn good choices. Joey Logano's bound to piss somebody off at some point.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace bound to do something stupid too at some point. Even though I'm a big fan of him, I'm sure he's going to find a way to do something stupid. The most controversy for a driver this year. I'm going to go off the wall though. I think it's going to be Ty Gibbs. And here's the reason. Ty Gibbs is on the verge of winning his first Cup race, his third season. I think he's going to run up front a lot in 2025. I have a feeling that he's going to be that third fringe second best driver at Gibbs all year long behind Bell. It's going to be Hamlin, Gibbs kind of battling for that second spot all year long. I think Gibbs is going to learn a lot by racing up front, that he's going to be in a lot of incidents with a lot of drivers that are going to really rub him the wrong way, whether it's Byron, whether it's going to be freaking Hung Money, whether he runs into Reddick on accident. I mean, I feel like Gibbs is going to be up front so much this year that he's going to win a lot of races. He's going to be real cocky about it, and he's going to run into a lot of people doing it. And I think that he's going to have so much drama centered around him, and I think it's going to look a lot like the 2022 Xfinity Series campaign, where he just wins a lot and runs into a lot of people at the front of the field, and he becomes polarizing where you either love him or you hate him for it. I think Gibbs might be the one to collect a lot of the drama this year.
So, mine. So, I had one of two drivers, and one of them was Ty Gibbs, and the other one is Hosen Karsavar. And I'll tell you why. Hosen Karsavar was a very respectable, very fast, no luck driver in the Truck Series until he got his first win. And then that dude just started shitting on everybody on the track. He'd wreck his grandma to win a race. You know what I mean? Like he didn't care about nothing. He would just go out there and wreck you for the win and pissed a lot of people off doing it. He lost a championship in the Truck Series in 23. Yeah, 23.
23, yep.
So, look, if Hosen Karsavar wins a race this year, look out, because that dude is going to be a freaking wrecking ball. And then I think it's probably going to be the same thing with Ty Gibbs.
I think it's a pretty similar story arc between the two of them. I think both of them, when they finally taste that victory, dude, watch out for both those drivers, because not only do they have the ability to knock off lots of wins, they have the ability to absolutely bulldoze a demolition their way to many wins. So and lose a lot of races in really shitty ways too with the way they drive. So I think it's gonna be fun to watch those two this year. I really do. Maybe a rivalry brewing maybe throughout. Maybe a lot of the drama is centered around each other this year, and that becomes like maybe a rivalry that brews and becomes one of these rivalries 10, 15 years from now, where we're looking at the kind of like a Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch rivalry that we had for 8-10 years.
Or Carl Edwards.
Or Carl Edwards Keselowski rivalry. Like this, they have a lot of.
We need that
styles.
though.
We do. We need a rivalry like that, especially with two drivers.
We almost
in their
had
early
it.
20s.
Well, we almost had it with Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, but
yeah, they took that away from us. Yeah.
Way to go, Mr. Rick Hendrick. Took away Prime TV.
Heck yeah. All right, well, that's all I have for NASCAR 2025. We'll obviously have a bunch of watch parties and everything this year. Super excited for Xfinity. Truck Series, I feel like, is down this year compared to it has been. It's going to be interesting to see who survives there. And then, obviously, Cup Series. We're going to get what we get with the Cup Series. All right, there is one last thing I do want to cover before the end of this podcast, and it's just because I'm super excited about it. Starting on Monday. We're starting prelim nights for the Chili Bowl next Monday, 6 days away. So with that being said, I think tonight is the night we kind of go through some of the entry list and kind of go through some of the guys on each specific day. So Monday, qualifying night on Monday. Notable guys making starts there. We have Kyle Larson, 2 times Chili Bowl winner, will be on Monday's qualifying night, as well as Tanner Carrick, who was a winner last year in qualifying night, as well as Shane Golobic, who also qualified in last year on Monday night. Brent Cruz, we talked about, maybe the next big thing. He's going to be there on Monday night with Cannon McIntosh. Can't drive Cannon McIntosh. Let's see who can make their way into Chili Bowl Saturday. The top two advance straight out of Monday in the feature event. Also, some other notable entries. Briggs Danner ended up qualifying last year. If you remember last year, he was the last guy to make it in that final B main when old T-Mez and McIntosh had their little shenanigans there. So maybe he can get lucky again this year and make his way into the A main. Also, Justin Peck, Kyle Jones, Joe B. Miller, some other notable entries racing in Monday night's prelim night. Who are you excited for the most on Monday night then, I guess, Tom, out of those? If I was to make a pick, I would say, God, it's gonna be tough, man.
I don't know.
On Monday. Who are the two drivers you think make it? So P1, P2 in the A main of Monday night qualifiers advance straight to the Chili Bowl Saturday. If you had to pick two of the drivers I just mentioned to make it, who are those drivers?
Cruz. I think Cruz makes it. I don't. It's so hard because it's the freaking Chili Bowl, man.
I know, man.
Anything
can happen.
One small mess up and you're 15 feet in the air in the grandstands. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
And then I don't know. You go first. You go.
I'm gonna go Kyle Larson, Tanner Carrick. I think that's gonna be your 1-2.
Yeah,
I think Larson wins.
Kyle Larson,
I think Larson 1-2. Maybe.
I think Larson makes a mistake, man. I think he races his way through the alphabet soup.
Yeah, kind of like last year.
But I don't know, man. He'd probably do it just for the TV.
Yeah, he probably would. He probably would too. He'd be like, yeah, screw it. I don't really need to do good at my heat race. I could just start at the back of the C and I could just pull a Dason Pursley from last year and drive into the A main.
I'd love to see Montez make it though.
Oh, T-Mez? Yeah, dude. We'll see. I believe he is on Wednesday night. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you got Brent Cruz.
I don't
you
know.
think Larson might wreck? I mean, McIntosh was fast in the shootout, man.
Yeah, he was.
He's again with another fast team this year. We'll see how he can do. Tanner Carrick is been Monday's man for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think he qualifies in every Monday every year. Shane Golobic, he's qualified in I think 3 or 4 of the last 5 Mondays. That'll be interesting. Briggs Danner is going to be a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised to see Briggs Danner somehow put up a good run. Justin Peck has been lighting the world on fire in the high limit sprint cars. Maybe he's got a good piece this year. I don't know. Be interesting.
You know what? Let's go with Justin Peck. Let's do that. Let's do that. Cruz and Peck.
Alrighty. All right, Tuesday night, qualifying night. Again, same rules apply. Top 2 advance. I think the favorite going into this whole night, Buddy Kofoid, obviously. I mean, he had the Chili Bowl pretty much damn near won last year. He's going to be making his start on Tuesday night. We're also going to be having Spencer Beeson as well is going to be making a start. Hank Davis, who is the hometown hero, the hometown favorite. He's made the Chili Bowl the last few years. He was one of the top 2 in qualifying night last year on Tuesday. Him and Buddy Kofoid won 2 last year. He's making a return. Jonathan Beeson, like I mentioned, Zach Dahm is going to be on Tuesday night, as well as Brad Sweet making his return to the Chili Bowl after a few-year hiatus. He's going to be racing on Tuesday night. And then as well as Ty Gibbs is a notable entry. T-Mez on Tuesday night. Kevin Thomas Jr., if you guys are big late model dirt fans, KTJ is going to be making a start. Kaylee Bryson, one of the female drivers, it's one of the people that are going to be there to watch. Those are some of your notable entries. Who makes it in on Tuesday night, prelim night?
Kofoid and Brad Sweet.
Damn, there we go. I like the picks, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Damn, dude, I like those picks. Man, I'm going Kofoid, obviously, and that's maybe a precursor to who I think wins the whole damn thing. I think he advances. And then I'm going to go with the guy that also advanced last year on Tuesday. I'm going to go with Hank Davis. He's the favorite, fan favorite around Oklahoma. Every time he gets in that number 29 machine, he's just super freaking quick, man. I think him and Buddy Kofoid advance out of Tuesday night. I think Brad Sweet's going to be fun to watch, though, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Beeson makes it either. He's been quick, too, in the last few years. Let's be interested to see if he can make it. And then, obviously, T-Mez. The fans are going to be wild and rowdy for him out there on Tuesday night. See if he can pull some magic out of the hat. And not a lot of those guys will probably end up in a B main. if they don't make it on Tuesday. So that'll be interesting going into Chili Bowl Saturday. Wednesday night, we got some more heavy hitters on Wednesday night. Corey Day, he's gonna be he advanced last year through Wednesday night. He's gonna be back, as well as we got JJ Yaley, Jerry Coons Jr., Alex Bright, Sammy Swindell, all making starts on Tuesday night. Blake Hahn, Dason Pursley, Emerson Axum, Jake Swanson,
Ooh.
Blake Hahn, Tim Buckwalter. I mean, it was just absolutely stacked on Wednesday night. Jake Newman obviously was really fast last year. Kobe Copeland, Kyle Cummins. I mean, this is like a stacked night on Wednesday night. You want to go first? You want me to go first? What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Corey Day, and I'm gonna go Swindell.
Damn, I like it. I'm gonna go Corey Day, obvious reasons. And then, man, it's tough for a second pick here. I'm gonna go Emerson Axum. I think Emerson Axum.
Yeah,
I mean, what I've saw
that
of
was-
him out of the Tulsa shootout.
That's what I was
dude.
thinking. Yeah.
God, what a freaking driver he is. As much as I love Dason Pursley, dude, I just feel like he's gonna have to go souping again, bro. He's gonna have to go back to the alphabet.
I feel like that's his. I feel like that's his signature, though.
Oh, it is, dude. Dason Pursley's
You know?
impressive, dude. That's just like his thing.
He's
And
really
I think
fun
he's
to
still
watch.
rallied up, dude, after him and Clinton Boyles got together and they made their Tulsa shootout. I think he's still rallied up a little bit. I think he's ready to go souping this year. So yeah, I think so. You got Sammy Swindell, Corey Day, and I got Corey Day, Emerson Axum out of Wednesday. All right, we're gonna go over Thursday night next. Again, this is loaded. Christopher Bell, three-time Chili Bowl champion, up on the Thursday lineup. He'll also be he's in a Keith Coons motorsports machine, which is one of the fastest ones on the field.
Unstoppable.
Yep. Tanner Thorson, former Chili Bowl winner in his own right. He'll be on Thursday night as well. Definitely probably your two favorites going into the night. We also have Brady Bacon, who made the Chili Bowl last year. He'll be in this. Chris Wyndham also made the Chili Bowl last year. He's also in the mix. Shane Cotto, Andrew Deal, Matt Westfall, who's always fast. CJ Leary, he's going to be in one of those Alex Bowman racing machines. And Carter Sarf, who was really close to A-Main Chili Bowl last year. We'll see if he can improve this year. Who do you think? Oh, Spencer Baston. I forgot to mention Spencer Baston. He qualified in on Thursday night last year. He was the guy that had the fastest car and ended up fencing it in the qualifying event.
He'll do it again.
Procedure. Oh, it's unfortunate. So who advances on Thursday night straight into the Chili Bowl?
I'm taking the obvious here. I'm going Bell and Thorson.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the same thing. I'm gonna go different than you though. I'm gonna go Bell, and I'm gonna go with Spencer Baston. I think Spencer Baston, with the speed that he had last year. I mean, I remember last year on Thursday night watching the Chili Bowl prelims, and Spencer Baston had a really terrible freaking draw in his heat race, and he drove himself to the front of the field. I think he finished second, maybe he won his heat race, which advanced him straight to the A-Main. And once he got to the A-Main, I mean, he just absolutely just outclassed the field. It was super impressive to watch. I think that he's going to take a lot of that. And then he threw the Chili Bowl away in qualifying shuffle. So we'll see how it goes this year. But I'm going to take Bell and Spencer Baston. All right, Friday, the final qualifying day for the Chili Bowl. We're going to lock in the final two for the top 10. And on deck is your two-time back-to-back defending Chili Bowl champion, old Logan Seavey. He's back with the number 39 machine again. He has definitely got to be your hands-down favorite to win his third straight Chili Bowl this year. He's been Mr. Friday for the last 4 years. I mean, he is the man to beat on Friday night for Chili Bowl. Also joining him on Friday night, we have lots of great contenders. We have Sunshine, Tyler Courtney, getting back behind the wheel of a sprint car or of a midget. We got Chase McDermott, who's been a threat every year. Darren Pittman, a World of Outlaw legend in his own right. We got Andrew Felker, who damn near won Friday night's prelim last year. He was this close. He finished third last year, just missed it. Ryan Timms with another KKM entry. He's a freaking badass race car driver. Michael Pickens, who made the A-Main last year. Ricky Roundhouse Jr. is going to be on Friday night. Kyle Busch is going to be on Friday night. Santino Ferrucci is going to be on Friday night.
Oh my God.
Michael Facinto. It's absolutely freaking packed on Friday night, man. If we had to make picks, Tom, do you want to go first? Or want me to go first? Who makes the show on Friday night?
I'm going to go with CV and Pittman.
Nice. I like those picks. I'm going to go CV for obvious reasons. And then my next pick, I'm going with
Ferrucci.
Andrew Felker, Ryan Timms. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to go Andrew Felker. I think Andrew Felker makes the show on Friday night. Like I said, dude, he was that freaking close. I think he ran P2 most of the entire A main last year in his prelim night and got passed right at the end to lose it. I think he gets redemption this year, and he gets himself locked into that top 10 going into Chili Bowl Saturday. Man, I'm excited, dude. We're next Monday. It kicks off, dude. I guess Sunday because they got the practice and then obviously the race of champions and stuff on Monday. That is gonna be so much fun to watch. Loaded field. I think there's 70 to 80 on each one of the prelim nights. So whatever that calculates out to, 71 to 85 each prelim night. And each one of them's packed, dude. There's heavy hitters in every one of these prelim nights. And to get it all narrowed down through the soup, next Saturday, we're obviously going to have the watch party. So you guys going to want to stay tuned. I'm going to be in Discord if you guys want to join. I might be in Discord. Actually, I am. Every day next week, Monday through Friday, I'll be watching every single one of these prelim nights here in Discord. So if any of you guys are part of our Discord and you guys want to come jump in, we might jump in the community chat and stream it in there. You guys can come join us, have some fun, watch some prelim Chili Bowl racing, and then obviously watch party on Saturday, Chili Bowl Saturday, Driller Day, as they call it at the Tulsa Expo Center. Alrighty, man. I think that's everything I have. Next week, I do want to mention that next week we're going to have a full Chili Bowl preview show. That's where me and Tom are going to make our official 2025 Chili Bowl picks for the win. We'll have Monday prelims, and then we'll be in the middle of Tuesday prelims. So we're going to make some pretty good guess judgments there on Tuesday. Who's going to win it going into Chili Bowl Saturday. We'll also be doing similar to what we did with NASCAR this week and what we did with IMSA last week. We're going to do a full WEC World Endurance Championship season preview podcast here next Tuesday as well. And then I also want to do a little bit of preview for the upcoming Roar for the 24, the qualifying practice sessions for the Rolex 24, as well as the Michelin Pilot Challenge or the VP Racing Fuel Series race previews as well next weekend. So it should be another fun podcast. And then moving forward, just to keep you guys up to date, I've kind of got some of this written down. The week after that, we'll do Chili Bowl recap, full episode recap, as well as a Rolex preview in the same episode. And then the next week we'll do Rolex 24 preview and a Clash preview, or a Rolex 24 recap plus a Clash preview. And then the week after that, Clash recap with the IndyCar full season preview, kind of like we did tonight. Week after that, Daytona 500 preview, as well as F1 season preview. And then obviously the week after that will be the Daytona 500 recap episode. And then we're back into the normal swing of things, guys. That's the off season right there, all in a nutshell. One of these episodes we'll have to throw in some of our hopes or wishes or for the 2025 motorsport season. We'll probably throw that in maybe in the couple week podcast from today. So lots of fun stuff coming up on this channel over the next few weeks. I can't wait to bring that content to you guys. If you guys want to join any of our social medias, all of those are on the bottom of the screen now, as well as in the link to the description of this podcast. Make sure you guys go follow us on all our socials, stay up to date with everything happening. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Tom does a freaking awesome job with this Discord. He's got everything from 2024 archived. He keeps us up to date with everything in 2025, keeps all the news fresh for us to talk about here on Tuesday. So if you guys want to join our Discord to be a part of this amazing motorsports community, everything is there for you guys as well. Merch store. If you guys want to help support the channel even more, go to our merch store. Go buy some Dega Boys swag. Get swagged out with the Dega Boys clothes, especially some Big Daddy IMSA stuff. Since IMSA is close, man, we're 2 weeks away from the Rolex 24. We're a week and a half away from the Roar before the 24. I mean, we're getting right back into the motorsports season, man, and it really kind of kicked off this weekend with the Tulsa Shootout, which was a lot of fun racing. If you guys got to catch that at all, what an awesome event we had there. And then it's leading into this another amazing Chili Bowl, the 39th running of the Chili Bowl. So that's all I have for tonight, man. That was fun, Tom. Is there anything else you want to add, or are we pretty much good for the night, man?
Yeah, thanks for coming out and watching.
Yeah.
For all those who came and watched, appreciate it.
I hope you guys had a good New Year and haven't quit on your New Year's resolutions yet. That's one thing. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. This has been Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode 104, here with the Dega Boys Broadcasting Network, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Have a good night.